this prior to. We were told that the consultants are not charging the town for their services. Can I get anybody know about that?
Good evening, Acting Mayor Yusishin, members of council. So I believe it was stated before that they were holding back their payables because they knew of our financial position at that time. So they brought them now forward, but they are now in abeyance. So P3, right, P3 Capital.
Yeah.
And Deeditor, which is on the next page, you will see as well. On the next payable listing coming forward at next council meeting will be one more payment to Deeditor. And but P3 Capital is now complete. So that was those 3 months for them. So February, March, and April.
Okay, and what about the other one?
So they that one is done as well. You'll see one more payable coming forward at the next council meeting. It didn't make this payable listing. But yeah, so there will be one more for that one as well. So that would be up until, because that was February 15th to March 14th. So the next one will be March 15th to April 15th then.
Okay, just out of curiosity, how come we're not using their services anymore, either one of them?
I believe leadership felt at this time we didn't need their consulting services. If we do need them though at any time, they are still willing to come back and work with the town. But as of right now, we felt that it wasn't necessary and we only put it into the budget for up to those months. So we're good according to the budget as well.
Okay, do we know what they were doing? We've never really had a clear indication of what we're paying them $15,000 or $10,000 plus a month for.
Acting Mayor, Assistant Members of Council, Councillor Harris, that's one of the reasons they were advising on a lot of different items, but when leadership got together, we thought that it wasn't what we needed and we would use them if required, and we talked to them both on that, and that's what we're doing.
Okay, all right, there's also one that I have. Where's the Trinus one? Hang on one second. Is it second? Hang on.
About 10 down.
Yeah, there was another one for Trinus for 12 though. Hang on one second.
Trinus would be our monthly, 12,000 is about our monthly charges that we have from them.
Okay, maybe I was mistaken. Okay, yeah, like I'm just looking at on page 4 of 8, it's a July 9th payment of $12,000. This is, I mean, I've had sort of a bone of contention with this, this charge to begin with, but, oops, sorry. But do we know why it went up by couple grand for anybody?
Acting Mayor Shishin, members of council, Councillor Harris. So I'm currently right now working with Trinus and going through our contract and getting it all broken down into details. So there is lots of new subscriptions and changes and extra fees that have been popping up. So I am right now working with another member of leadership to get this all broken down, and hopefully I can give you a better, clear explanation in the future, because I'm not 100% sure what the little bit of increase on this one was, but we're in the same boat as, okay, why this shouldn't be keep going up, and what services then are we getting for that price. So I can come back to that one at a different time too.
Okay, if we could just go back to the page 2 of 8, I noticed that there are some redactions, and I'm just a little bit confused as to why these items are redacted. Well, starting at the first page, 4 down from the first page for credit. Why is one M. Janney Holdings Incorporated, that name's not redacted, and yet the next one is on the first page?
Yep, so I saw that as well. So I believe that one was left that way because it's a business name. In my mind, it probably should have been redacted as well. It was a credit balance that resident had on his property. So they've sold their property, so that was a balance that they had owing, that they had on their account, a credit balance. So of course we own their money back. They are no longer a resident of the town.
Okay, and I apologize if I'm asking you a question that you're not familiar with, which I'll ask the other administration individuals the question in a moment. But I haven't seen the M. Janney's Holdings name on the accounts payable before, and like in previous council packages. Who are they? Anybody?
I pulled up the tax account because I too looked
Yeah.
into it. So it is a person, and that's what they have listed on their title as that. So I'm assuming their business must own the home.
Okay.
If they've rented our facilities in the past and we've refunded them, I don't know without seeing what the previous payables were right in front of me, what we refunded or gave back to them.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, I don't have that exact detail in front of me.
Okay, well, then just my other question, and this is not directed at you, but where is Miss Jeffries? She hasn't been here in several meetings now, 4, 5, 6 meetings. As the Director of Corporate Services or Interim Director of Corporate Services, is this not part of her position?
Acting Mayor, Assistant Members of Council, Councilor Harris, Ms. Jeffries has taken a leave of absence from council meetings for her own health.
Oh, okay. Well,
I have to look after the health and safety of the employees of this town, and she did not feel, she was getting very stressed at these meetings, and it was unhealthy for her. So she is not, she should be coming back, we're hoping in September. But she went through a lot in the past little bit, so we gotta look after her health and safety.
okay, well, I mean, it's unfortunate for her mental health, but in her absence, what's happening is that there are employees that are left to answer questions that they don't necessarily know the answers to, and she would know the answers to directly, and we're not, I mean, this is the Director of Corporate Services, everybody else can be here? And I'm not trying to be, you know, I'm not being insensitive, but everybody's got their their personal lives, and nobody's is smooth sailing. So, you know, I just think that it's unfair to the employees that are left here answering questions that they aren't familiar with. They don't make the
Acting Mayor, Assistant Members of Council, Councilor Harris, she briefs both Tara and Mitchell. Mitchell's on vacation this week, or he would be here. She briefs and they have a good talk before any meetings, and they go over everything. So if there's questions that come up that they can't answer, they will get them for the next meeting.
well. Okay, that would have been nice to be told that. Thank you.
Councillor Berg?
I have a very frivolous question. I saw something in there about cat doors. Where do we require cat doors?
So our public works shop, they have 2 cats to help with the mice and little rodents. So that's what the cat doors are for, is just for the individual cats at the public shop.
Thank you. I think that's a good idea.
On the accounts there, number, last 3 digits, 855 for sign guru. Are we still paying for that, or no?
Acting Mayor, Assistant Members of Council, Councilor Sandell, on the check for Sign Guru, it's right across there now, last payment. We tried to get a hold of them to cancel, nobody returned the calls, so we paid their last payment and said, we're done.
Thank you.
Was there an issue with the Sand Guru?
I think we were just spending money to advertise for somebody else, and I did not like that, so we got rid of it, so.
Who were we spending money to advertise for?
So if I may, so that was part of the Meadows development. So, yes, we were paying for the advertising, but we are getting the advertising costs back on when each house is sold in $2,500. We get back on each individual property once that property is sold. So it will work out that we won't lose any money on the advertising costs. It's just with the Meadows, all the lots being sold, it was not beneficial to anyone anymore for paying that. So again, like Eric had stated, we had reached out to them, we could not get a hold of them, so Eric put it right across the final check saying final.
We were paying for advertising for other,
Again, it was part of the agreement that was made with the Meadows development.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Councilor Malonte?
Just on page 3 of 8, at the very bottom, 20250,835. It's not the cost that I was too concerned about, but when we get a refund on an incident from the government of Alberta, I just kind of wonder what that's about. Is that an OH&S thing, or?
So that was an invoicing error on our part. We had invoiced Alberta Transportation for a motor vehicle accident, and it should have actually been a county invoice that we invoiced to the county. So the Alberta government paid us, and then we realized, well, that shouldn't have been. So we refunded them their money back, and then the county paid for that invoice.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Any other questions? All right. All in favor of the accounts paid? All right. 2025 taxes collected to date, 7.2.
Good evening, Acting Mayor Eustitian and members of council. The purpose of this report is to advise council on the status of the current year taxes collected to date. In 2025, $4,967,572.48 taxes were levied. This amount includes all taxes, including school, senior housing, etc. As of June 30th, 2025, 71% of the current year's levies have been collected. Further, for council's information, 33% of our tax accounts are on the tax installment program, TIP, meaning that every month $172,141.25 is received on the current taxes. Currently, there are $189,498.82 in arrears of taxes, of which only $53,059.99 are in tax sale status. The remainder of arrears are all working under a tax agreement. Our recommendation, administration would like to respectfully request that council consider the following recommendations: that council accepts the 2025 tax collection report as information. Thank you.
All right. Councilor Malonte? Need a
I'll put
motion
forward the-
first. Oh, yep. Sorry.
Put forward the motion that council accept the 2025 tax collection report as information.
Thank you. Any questions? All in favor? All right, 7.3, second quarter variance to budget.
Good evening, Acting Mayor Session and members of council. The purpose of this report is to present to council the second quarter variance to budget as of June 30th, 2025. Financial reports for January to June 2025 inclusive have been completed. To date, the town of Gibbons revenues are slightly above budget at 62.57% of expected, as the 2025 taxes have been levied and expenditures are below anticipated budget at 40.66% of total budget. Administration would like to respectfully request that council consider the following recommendations: that council accept the 2025 second quarter budget variance report as information. Thank you.
Councilor Berry?
I move that council accept the 2025 second quarter budget variance report as information.
Thank you. Any questions? Councilor Harris?
Thank you. Usually with a variance report, we have a chart or it's some sort of, an Excel sheet that says, we're at this percentage is spent or this percentage we're above, below. Did I miss that
Yeah, it's there.
in here? Because
It's here.
okay, show me, because it wasn't, is it, okay, because I found it in the agenda, I just didn't see it in the paper copy, so.
Yeah, it's definitely
That,
there.
okay, good, thank you.
All right, any other questions then? All in favor? 7.4, tax forfeiture policy.
Good evening, Acting Mayor, members of council. The purpose of this report is to respond to the request from the council as per resolution of council 25.296 for administration to draft a tax forfeiture policy. The town of Gibbons presently is mandated by the Municipal Government Act on the processes and procedures that are required to be followed in the tax recovery process for the province of Alberta. Please find attached the guide that is provided by Municipal Affairs, written in plain English, that is followed by every municipality in the province of Alberta and that follows the sections of the Municipal Government Act. This document is available online for anyone's information. In discussions with the town solicitor, administration inquired about a tax forfeiture policy, and his comment was that he is not aware of any municipality in Alberta that has such a thing, because they are all mandated to follow the attached policy. Recommendation, administration would like to respectfully request that council consider the following recommendation. That council receives the information on the tax forfeiture process and procedures as presented as information. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I get a motion?
I'll move to accept the tax forfeiture policy information, as information.
Thank you. Questions? Councillor Harris?
If it's not an actual policy of the town, why are we calling this a policy? Or are we, you know what I'm saying, like, this is a guideline?
Yep.
So do we have a policy that is attached to this
No.
guideline?
No, we only follow the guideline that the Municipal Government Act.
Okay.
And then it has all the sections in there that we are required to follow in that.
Okay, my second question is, do we know that in the past tax recovery occurrences that we've had, have we followed these rules?
As far as I'm aware, we have always followed the rules of what the MGA states that we must and shall do. So as far as I know, since I've been helping out, that's what we have done.
Okay, it's a big document, so I've kind of gone through it and made some notes, but I'm not finished yet. Are we able to bring this back? Or I mean, if I've found something, or somebody on council has found something that deviates from what this procedure indicates, then,
You could always bring a notice of motion.
okay. Then,
So I will, there is not a confirmed date, but because we do have a couple properties that are in a tax sale and that you guys are aware of from the last council meeting, legal is going to be coming out and presenting to council as well on those two tax sales. So that might be an opportunity then for council, if you have questions regarding the guide or what we have to follow in the MGA, that might be a good opportunity to ask legal when they are here for that.
what's the purpose of them coming out? I mean, this is a
Right
step that we
now,
haven't
it
gone
is,
through.
it's in the lenders and the lawyers' hands, those two properties that are up for tax sale. So we just want to make sure that we are following all the proper guidelines that we are supposed to be following. So I think they suggested that they would be willing to come out and make that presentation to council. So in my mind, I think that would be a good idea. Again, I don't have a confirmed date, but just to make you guys aware of that.
Prior to the election, I assume?
Yeah, we're hoping for the September 10th meeting. That's what we're hoping for. I just don't have that date stamped.
It might, just going forward, it might be a good idea to take this type of information for the new council and maybe put this as earmark it as something that new councilors should be, educated on going,
In your guys'
going forward,
package?
because
Okay.
it's not something that is, well, certainly hasn't been presented to me or us in any of my time here, and
Okay.
this is information that's good to know. I mean, considering we give the okay on it, so
Yep, 100%.
That's it.
that's it.
Just on page 24, the guidelines there from the province, I'll just read it really quick. Notification by municipality, section 43603, subsection 4 and subsection 5. All I ask is if we can just, because it talks about municipality must give written notice of the owner of each shown in the tax arrears list, that a tax recovery lien has been registered against it. And I know some of the hard parts is trying to find somebody, or if it goes to a corporation and it's somewhere in Ontario that owns a house. I'm just using that as rhetorically speaking. I just want to make sure that we have some really good guidelines on that. So if there's something you can just present to the lawyers prior to. I just want to make sure, because that's a process that if it's missed, we.
Yeah, no,
as
we
some of
have to
that-
send letters and do as much contacting to the property owners like
The
that.
issue is when you can't contact them, that's the hard part.
And all we can do is use the address that we have on file, right? That we have from, land titles that they have registered their property against. So we do work as many different avenues as we can to try and find the landowners. As far as I know, we've been successful, and the two that are up for tax sale right now, that the owner definitely is aware. He's been in contact with us. He, so he is aware of them.
Okay, my big thing is like just the lawyers, since you're already speaking with them, just regarding like if there's timelines that you know, if they don't communicate back to us within 60 days, 90 days, whatever the
Okay.
case is, it just helps in civil tort law to be able to show that we've done our due diligence without having some loopholes, and the next thing you know, the person still owns the property after we've spent so much time to get the taxes back, so.
And that's why we have to advertise, and if you saw on Ms.
Yep.
Jeffrey's visa, the advertising alone, because of what the MGA states, it has to be in a newspaper. We don't have a newspaper anymore, but we still had to put it in, so I think it went in the, I forget, not the St. Albert Gazette. It did go into a newspaper, but that ad was $3,200. And we are
That's-
mandated to do that. So
Yeah.
we've made municipal affairs very aware that small municipalities don't have newspapers anymore. And that's a pretty high cost. Like, we're allowed to put that cost back onto as an administration cost when you're doing a tax recovery. But still, it's a good chunk of change to put out just to advertise that these properties are being up for tax sale.
Yeah, I have a background in understanding this stuff, so that's why I kind of want to really push on that. I didn't realize it was 3,200 though. Wow. Thank you.
All right, any other questions? Okay, all in favor? All right, 7.5, revenue and expense report as of June 30th, 2025. Do we know
Just
who's presenting this?
administration, in front of you is the revenue and expense report for the period ending June 30th, 2025. At the last council meeting, council had advised administration that they would like to see last year's previous month also included. So you'll see this year, this time we've added June 2024 actual to go against June 2025 actual. That was that column that you guys wanted added to that, so that's been added. Right now, our revenues are higher than our expenses, which is a great thing. And then below that, at the end of the report, you'll see our balances in the bank account, what our current loans are at with the credit union, and then our debentures with the province, those debenture payments, or loans as well.
Okay, thank you. Can I get a motion? Councillor Barry.
I'm sorry. I'd like to move that we accept the revenue and expense report for the period ending June 30th, 2025 as information.
Thank you. Any questions? Councillor Harris.
Out of curiosity, what on earth did we spend $3 million with planning and development last year? Do you know? And again, I'm sorry. That is just on the second page, bottom. Very, very last one. Expense planning.
So that would have been all of our Heartland development to the south.
Is that includes like engineering fees and,
That would be everything that we spent in 2024 on any planning and development. So the good portion of that would be our south development.
okay, is that, none of that, cost in, given back to the, or put back on the developers? Cause
We do have the local improvement tax that comes from that development as well, that they will pay, I believe, over 15 years. I just don't have the exact amount in front of me, what that a local improvement tax will be. Because again, that was also, if we look at that, it is the highway, which ended up having to be an expense, right? So we couldn't capitalize that. So that wouldn't be in the local improvement tax. The set of lights as well, we couldn't capitalize that as a capital project. That could only be as an expense. And then the rest of the 4.5 acres, we were able to capitalize on what we could for sure. And then anything south of Heartland Drive hasn't been developed yet. So when they do start development, then a local improvement tax will be on those acres as well.
Okay. In the event that it's not, I mean, we don't know when the rest of the quarter section is, if it will even become, be developed in our lifetime. Does Landrex just get off free and clear?
I believe the tax levy is placed on those acres. So as soon as they do start a development, then the tax levy comes into effect, and then those payments will have to be made on it.
Yeah, it's just the if and when. That's $3 million that the town had to put out, and not 1 cent was required.
And again, I don't have the numbers right in front of me on exactly how much the 4.5 acres is against the 2.9
Yeah.
that you see in those expenses.
Okay. Huh, okay.
All right, any other questions? All in favor? And 7.6 quarterly balance sheet report.
Good evening, Acting Mayor Eustachian, members of council. So in front of you is a balance sheet. If I can please ask you all to make a correction. The description at the top, and then it says December 31st, 2024. That should actually be June 30th, 2024. So we apologize for that error. But so it's comparing June 30th, 2024 to June 30th, 2025. Again, you will see we have an accumulated surplus of $33,714,243.07 because of it's a good thing. we have to balance our assets to our liabilities, and we have more assets and than what we owe on. So it's a good overview of what the town owes versus what the town owns versus what we owe. Sorry, my apologies.
All right, can I get a motion on that?
I'll move to accept the quarterly balance sheet report.
Thank you. Questions? Councillor Harris?
Just for the sake of the community, can you just explain what deferred revenue is, please? If you know. That's just on the first page. Just an explanation of what it is. Sometimes accounting terminologies don't make sense to
So-
non-accountant people.
Deferred revenue the majority of it is grants that we do get from the province on different projects and that. So for instance, if I look at REC, unearned revenue, $710,000, that would have been the grant that we got in regards to Memorial Park being built. So that it's a deferred revenue because we haven't spent that revenue necessarily yet, the expenses, right? As you'll see, at the end of this year, those numbers will all come down because we're starting to spend that money now on Memorial Park. Does that kind of give you a good explanation?
So just for clarity for me, it's money that we've received, but it's been earmarked for something that we haven't spent yet.
Yeah, so it can be anything. There could be one in there for roads. It could be one in there for Memorial Park. What else could be? Water, sewer. Yeah, Yeah, different grants that we have. So we just got 514,000 in on another grant. So a portion of that is going to Memorial Park. A portion of it is going to, sorry, I just lost my train of thought.
But in saying that, all of it is accounted, or
It-
is earmarked for something.
It is. So when it's unearned revenue, it doesn't necessarily have to be spent. I don't know how to, what the right word is. Yeah, like you said, it's earmarked to be spent on a project and that coming forward in the future. So, sorry on my explanation.
No, that's okay. I have one more question if anybody else is good with it. The last page, the capital lease obligation, I assume that's that vac truck.
Correct, it is.
Have we had any discussions with Davis Development and, you know, going forward, a contribution on their part?
I have not had any discussions with Davis Development. As far as I know, we are responsible to service hardcore infrastructure, and that is a hardcore infrastructure, and therefore we're responsible in sucking out the sewer on those properties. So with that comes the vac truck.
Aren't we just, and this is sort of directed at the acting CAO, I mean, we were responsible for the construction and the of the infrastructure for the 4.5 acres, but I mean, is it our fault that the rest of the quarter section is not going forward? And I mean, to me, we've done our part. This indefinite $130,000 expense per year that the town is going to be incurring, that, I take great issue with that. Who made this agreement?
Acting Mayor, Assistant Members of Council, Councilor Harris, when we develop, we're responsible to take the wastewater and provide water to the development. When they did this, we provided water, but in the future, they were supposed to get, we'll say 10 million to put a sewer line in and take the sewer away. The temporary fix was the holding tanks that we are responsible to pump out because it's our responsibility to get rid of the wastewater. So that's where we're at with that, and we'll be doing that until we put an extension line in to dispose of the sewer.
Which could be years from now.
It could be years from now. So we are still using the vac truck, and I think it's 3 times a week now, Curtis, if I'm not mistaken? 7
Good
loads a
evening.
day?
Yeah, that's correct. Acting Mayor Decision, members of council. Currently, we're doing 3 days a week, 7 loads a day. We're looking at extending that further right now with the inflow going in. Eventually, probably going to 5 days a week or every day, plus a day on the weekend potentially here in the future.
So is this a case of the cart before the horse? And is that correct? Like Mr. O'Malley and whomever else, the developers assumed that the rest of the quarter section was going to be developed, and now that it's not, this is it?
Cart before the horse is a good terminology for it.
Well, do we not have any legal recourse to, where is this agreement? It has to be written in an agreement somewhere, to just, I mean.
It is in the agreement. In the agreement, when you look farther down in the fiber optics line, it listed it, fiber optics, water, sewer. There's a few other things like the other hardcore services, water, sewer, power, gas. The fiber optics had to be up to the property line. So we have everything there except for a sewer line.
And is there no way to tie the sewer line into the current, like what we have now?
We need the $9 or $10 million to connect it to the main sewer line.
And the line that runs through onto 36th Ave will not hold that. There's too much going through, and we may back up the residents there, so that's not capable of holding that, so we won't go through there.
So was it Mr. O'Malley that made these arrangements, these I mean, frankly, somebody has to be held accountable for this, as opposed to just plunking it on the shoulders of the residents, you know?
Councillor Barry?
I just had a thought. I know we're stuck with this arrangement with the vac truck, and we know how much that's gonna cost. Do we know how much it would cost to connect a sewer line at this point?
Approximately $9 million.
But was that going to, sorry.
So my thought is that this is actually a relatively inexpensive solution for a small period of time, because that's a lot of money.
That's,
But it's it's indefinite. We really don't have it. It's not a small period of time.
no, and
you
you're
know.
right, we don't know when, right? It could be, or it could be, you know, we have a great few years ahead of us with the other new development potentially coming to the town, and that will help increase our cash flow and then bring down our debt limit as much as we can over the next few years, and that may allow us then to have those funds to supply a main sewer line going into that development.
And the way the economy's going, prices go up every year. So it
Well,
doesn't help.
exactly. And who's it gonna cost? All of us who live here
So,
and pay taxes. So it's not an inexpensive solution. It's 130 grand plus a year for however many years going forward, basically,
All right,
you know.
any other questions?
if I can just, sorry, make a comment back to deferred revenue. I had a note here. So will be updated later on in the year when comparing actual expenditures to grant agreements. Does that help explain deferred revenue a little bit better? Sorry, I should have looked at my notes a little
Sorry,
earlier.
can you say that one more?
Yep, for sure. When comparing actual expenditures to grant agreements. So those numbers are gonna change once we start, making the payments on our expenditures that are gonna be coming forward.
Okay. Any other questions?
Just one more. There's a written agreement, if I understand correctly, that the town has committed to with these developers? Is that right?
There is a written agreement that we have found. If council would like to make a motion to bring it forward at the next council meeting, I believe we can, but it would have to be in a closed session because it's a third-party agreement, and it would be part of the new PAPA, what's the other act? The Privacy Act, yeah. So, but
Okay, that's a great idea. I'll make that motion after this is completed.
Okay, any other questions? All in favor?
If I may, I'd like to make a motion that council direct administration to provide the, if we could, any agreement surrounding any of the development on the south side or any relevant development that was, but is not continuing forward, at the next council meeting in closed session, provide that agreement. I'd like to see it. I think it's important that all of us see it.
Okay, any questions on that? All in favor?
Thank you.
Opposed? Yep. Okay, 9.1, old business cottage project timelines.
Acting Mayor, Assistant Members of Council, the purpose of this report is to provide timelines on the cottage projects as requested by Council at the June 25th, 2025 regular council meeting. The cottage project was reviewed for viability at the March 26, 2025 regular meeting with Council during closed session portion of the meeting. Come out of closed session, Council made the following motion. Minutes are attached for Council's information. Councilor Harris moved to set the asking price for the cottage land at $625,000, with any offer below the set reserve price must come back to Council for approval. Once the decision by Council has been made to sell the land, administration brought forward bylaw ALT 4-25, the bylaw to rescind both the local improvement tax bylaw and the local improving borrowing bylaw as these bylaws were no longer required. Bylaw ALT 4-25 received first, second reading at the April 9th, 2025 regular meeting of council, and third reading was held on April 23rd, 2025 regular meeting of council. Minutes and bylaw are attached. Options available. The option for consideration by council include the following. The council accept the cottage project timelines as information. Recommended for action, administration would like to respectfully request the council consider the following recommendation. The council accept the cottage project timelines as information.
Thank you. Can I get a motion? Councillor Barry?
I'd like to move that council accept the cottage project timelines as information.
Thank you. Questions? Councillor Harris?
I appreciate the information that administration provided, but I think further to this, what my question was between the time that Mr. O'Malley left and prior to, just shortly into the last quarter of last year, it was all a go. When was it decided? I mean, this says when council made the decision, but when was it decided that we were no longer going forward with it? I mean, this is, you know what I mean? This is the decision that administrated need. At what point in time, within the 6 months prior, was it decided that the project wasn't going forward anymore?
Acting Mayor, Assistant Members of Council, Councillor Harris, I can't tell you exactly when it was decided, but it wasn't feasible for our cash flow and the money we were making to continue with the project that the town was trying to develop, because we're not developers and we don't have the funds to set forward to put all the in-ground infrastructure. That was, I think it was in excess of $3 million to put all the underground in there with the special system that had to go in. So the decision was made that way. You just can't afford to do it.
Well, I know that. That's evident on what we just had our last discussion, or the agenda item discussion on $12,000 a month for a vac truck is exactly why. But who said that this is a bad idea when we've spent, hundreds of thousands of dollars of preliminary engineering work and whatnot? When was it? Who decided that this is a bad idea?
Councillor Harris, I'll say it was our leadership team through me, and I probably brought it forward to council. Because leadership, we discussed all of the items going forward, and we try to bring what's viable for the town, and this was one of the things that we thought was not viable, so I would have brought it forward.
So this is after Mr. O'Malley left?
After Mr. O'Malley left.
Okay. Wow.
Any other questions? All in favor? 9.2, Shaw Cable Fiber Optic Installation.
Good evening, Acting Mayor Yusichyn and members of council. The purpose of this report is to provide council with information on the Shaw Cable Fiber Optics line installation as part of the development on the south end of Gibbons as requested at the June 23rd, 2025 regular meeting of council. The offer to purchase agreement between the town of Gibbons and 1685802 Alberta Davies Developments included that all utility main services, including the fiber optic cable, shall be available at the property line. Davis Developments was responsible for installation to the businesses within the property boundaries. As a result of this stipulation, the town of Gibbons installed a fiber optic line to the property line at a cost of $278,250 is payable over 2 overlapping phases as noted below. So administration would like to respectfully request that council consider the following recommendation, that council accept the Shaw Cable Fiber Optics installation report as information. Thank you.
Can I get a motion? Councillor Malante.
I'll put forward the motion that council accept the Shaw Cable Fiber Optics installation report as information.
Thank you. Questions? Councillor Harris.
This information in these agreements, is this information that is included in the offer to purchase, offer or development? Where's this written, this kind of?
So in the agreement was that all utility main services had to be supplied to the property line. So that's in the agreement.
Is that the offer to purchase? Or which agreement are we talking about?
Sorry, the offer, yeah, the purchase agreement between us and the numbered company, Davies Development. So, and the cost then to the town to get the Shaw cable line from where it is, I believe it just came out of the sound barrier and went all the way down the ditch to the property line to the to that heartland area. So our cost then to install it was $278,000. So Shaw has broken that down into 2 phases and over 2 account numbers.
Right.
So the table is a bit confusing, but this is how they presented it to us. So in the first phase, we paid upfront $50,000, and then we have monthly charges, 2 monthly charges for phase 1 over the next 36 months. And those are the charges that you have seen through the payables listing over the last few months. Now, phase 2, we were responsible again for another down payment of $45,000, and then again, monthly charges for the next 36 months. Shaw Cable agreed for the second down payment, say, of the $45,000, instead of doing one big lump sum of $45,000, they agreed to allow us to pay that over the next 12 months. So that's the other payment that you will see. They haven't started the phase 2, though, monthly payment. And I don't know, he's holding off to help us out as long as he can to start that monthly charge for phase.
Miles Davis's?
No, Shaw.
Oh, okay.
This has nothing to do with like the Davis development. This is the town's obligation to get that fiber optics line to the property line.
Okay, so, council has the original offer to purchase, and we were presented with the amended copies as well. So if we go back in our documentation, this should be clearly indicated?
That's where I found that we were to include all utility main services, including the fiber optics line, in that agreement. That's where I was able to find that, and then the table that's listed is what Shaw has provided us.
And that's what you'll be providing to us at the next meeting.
Yeah, I'll provide to you the agreement that I was able to find stating that we had to supply these services to the property line.
Oh, okay, and, well, then maybe in the meantime, we should all go through like I said, we have the original offer to purchase, right? And this was a council direct control district until Mr. O'Malley kind of hijacked that, in 2023. But, so, and is there anything to do with this information, like, is this information also indicated in the development permits as well? Because we have those with 2 amendments as additional amendments.
That I wouldn't know if that would be
I don't know, I'm
Yeah,
just asking.
I'm sorry, I don't know the answer to that one. I was just looking for Shaw specifically because that
Okay.
was what was requested of me to look into, so that's what I looked into.
Okay, and the only reason why I ask is because these developers have been given a golden, a golden contract with their, developments, and we're left holding the bag with a lot of taxpayers' money being put out to pay for this stuff. So, I don't know how going forward in the future, if we can make sure that council has some sort of direct oversight on these types of, contracts, because this is garbage. I don't know if, I would hope that if we actually knew what was going on, that none of the council would agree to this, but thank you. That's just a rant. Thanks.
Councillor Barry, I think you had a question? Maybe? Okay. All right, any other questions? All right, all in favor? 9.3, debt limit and borrowings.
Good evening, Acting Mayor Eustace and members of council. The purpose of this report is to provide council with information regarding the debt limit threshold. At the regular meeting of council held on June 25th, 2025, council requested information on the status of the debt limit and an update on the town borrowings. The audited financial statements contain disclosure on the debt limit and service of debt limit at of the town as of December 31st, 2024, and identified that the total debt limit remaining was $519,420, and the service on debt limit remaining was $762,601. Since 2024 year-end, the town has engaged in the following financial borrowing activities during 2025. Withdrawn a bridge financing loan in the amount of $2.5 million in February, made required repayments on debenture loans in the amount of $564,000 in June, partially repaid the bridge financing loan in the amount of $144,000 from March to June, partially repaid the capital line of credit in the amount of $318,000 from March to June, fully repaid the operating line of credit in the amount of $1,024,000 in July. Repayment figures listed above are blended payments which include principal and interest. The borrowing in February resulted in the debt limit threshold being exceeded. However, the service on debt limit was not. Repayment activities have since reduced the amount which the threshold was surpassed. However, the town will still have overdrawn compared to the debt limit remaining at the end of 2025. As per requirements on the Municipal Government Act, Section 252, Subsection 1, the town is working with Municipal Affairs on obtaining approval for exceeding the debt limit from the minister. The town forecasts that the debt limit will not be exceeded by the end of 2026. Administration would like to respectfully request that council consider the following recommendation, that council accept this report as information. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I get a motion?
I'll move to accept it as information.
Thank you. Questions? Councillor Harris?
Just so that I'm clear, the end of 2024, December 2024, we had a debt limit remaining of $519,000. And it was brought to council for approval for the $2.5 million, whatever you want to call it, bridge financing. Somebody had to draft that request, and I assume that it's Ms. Jeffries who did that. I mean, she's not here to answer it, but maybe somebody on the administrative team can. How on earth did, with her knowledge and background, did she present this request for the $2.5 million loan, bridge financing, when knowing very well that our debt limit was only $519,000? I mean, she's the one who put us in the predicament that we're in, being over our debt limit.
So correct me if I'm wrong, though. The $519,000 of debt limit remaining, we actually didn't have that number until May when the accountants brought back the
That's correct. We
Audit,
didn't have the financial audit statements until April, I believe it was, when it got brought forward to council. So at that time, when we were going into the beginning of January, we knew we did not have the cash flow available to keep the operations going of the town. So we did take the loan against our capital asset, and that's how we came up with the $2.5 million. So we are over our debt limit. We are aware. We are Municipal Affairs, and the minister is well aware of that as well. We are working with them, and we will have to get the minister's approval for that.
I don't mean to interrupt you,
No,
and
no.
I really apologize for directing these questions to you, because frankly, it should be Miss Jeffries who answers to them. Because if I'm not mistaken, when it was presented, the $2.5 million loan request, we had a great deal of credit left on our debt limit remaining. Enough to convince us that we are in adherence to the MGA when we borrow, okay? If I'm not mistaken, it was something like $4, $5, $7 million that was presented to us that of our, our debt limit remaining. That is a substantial difference from that to the $500,000 that is actually being reported. So again, this is not directed at you, because it was somebody higher up than you that presented this information to council, and and frankly, I'm sorry to hear that Miss Jeffries is not, feeling well mentally these days, but we're in this predicament because somebody told council that we were in a far better place back at that time. And if we needed the audit to straighten out millions of dollars of difference, that's what I'm interpreting happened. Am I correct?
I can't speak for Miss Jeffrey.
Right. Well, then you know what? Maybe perhaps Assistant CAO Lowe can for you.
I can't speak for Ms. Jeffries either, but I will have to get the correct answer from her, and I can bring it back to the next council meeting.
Well, I mean, don't you find it alarming that there was a difference of millions of dollars that was presented to council and yourself then?
I would have to say yes, and I am trying my hardest to help us out and get us back on our feet.
Sure.
And so all of these things, we are researching a lot of this stuff and trying to see where and how. So we are slowly working and getting at it. So the past, I'm trying to get rid of the past and move forward, and this is one of the past things, and I will try to find out what the answer is and bring it back to the next council meeting.
Okay, because essentially what she did was she snowed you too. She provided you with incorrect information because,
I'd like to point out, you're
Yeah.
making the assumption that she knew completely. And she
Okay.
may not have.
yeah, well, if she were here to answer for that, then we'd be able to not assume.
Councillor Barry?
I'd just like a little bit of clarification. I'm not sure I understood everything that Mitchell presented the other day. You were there, were you not? Okay. What I got from that was that our debt limit fluctuates throughout the year depending on
Our revenues.
our revenue.
Yeah,
So
so,
if our debt limit was calculated right now, at this point, do you have any inkling what it would be?
we would still definitely be over our debt limit.
We
Do
would
I
be?
know? Yeah, we would. We're going to be in there. Mitchell said, hopefully by 2026, we will be out of that. It fluctuates because we don't have all of this year's revenues in yet. So they take the revenues and 1.5 times that is what our debt limit, less, of course,
Our
your
borrow-
debt, is at. So that's how you figure out the debt limit. And then your debt servicing limit is 0.25% of your revenues. So right now, we are in good standing of our debt servicing limit. So that is what your principal and interest payments can be to make sure that you're able to make those payments. So we're in good standing that way. We've never missed a payment. We're well within our range on that. We did exceed the debt limit though. So to say exactly today what we're at, I can't
do
say.
that.
And even for the end of the year at this time, I can't, I could ask Mitchell to prepare something if council would like to put a motion forward to see a forecast. Again, that forecast would be today's numbers. So if we've only received 50% of our revenues for the year, it's not a very good forecast because it may be we're at 2.5 million over our debt limit because we haven't reached those revenues for the year. And we're constantly also working down what we're paying, right? So in June, our debenture payments are $590,000 approximately. So, we were able to pay that down. We'll pay that amount down again in December. Our operating line of credit is a $1 million operating line. That is currently at 0. So we've brought that down because it was full, it was maxed out. So we've been able to bring that down to a 0 balance. Our capital line of credit, we've been able to bring down about 250,000. So, if the purchase of those 2 lots go forward, that will help that. So we're definitely working on bringing it down, but to give you an exact number as of today, I don't have that number for you.
Okay, well, thank you.
I just, the motion that I put in for that municipal audit, which is now a municipal compliance report that you're working with, maybe discussing a little bit about that process already happening as part of knowing where our finances are going with the province and doing that A to Z check for our finances? Maybe give us a little bit of that.
So
That
we
might
have
give us
been in
some rest.
contact, especially Jordan's the fellow we've been working with in municipal affairs on the finance side of things. So Monique had another call from him today. Mitchell was on the phone with him last week. So we are in full discussions with them on a regular basis. We are working on cash flows, for those, I think, for the next 5 years, where we're gonna be at, where we're sitting. Like I said, they are well aware of the situation that we are in, and we're working with them diligently to make sure we're giving them all the information that they are requiring for us to bring that report back to council.
Thank you.
All right, any other questions? Councillor Harris?
Oh gosh, your train of thought is infectious. Darn. It was in there and then gone. Okay, this isn't the question that I forgot, but it will come to me. Do we know the amount of principal and interest we're paying on the debt? Oh, I remembered it now. I'll finish with that one, and then answer that one. I'm writing it down. Okay. Do we know how much interest and principal we're paying on a yearly, on a monthly, that kind of thing?
If you look back in our previous revenue expenses, on the bottom of that sheet, it had what we paid in June, I believe. I just have to find it in all this paper. Thank you.
If it's in there, I can look. I might have just missed it.
Sorry, I apologize. I thought it was broken down. In June, though, our debenture payments with Alberta Capital Financing is about $590,000. So that would include the principal and interest. Our $2.5 million, we pay approximately $47,000 a month on that one. Our line of credit on the one, because it's zero, isn't a nice zero. And then on the 5 currently on the capital line of credit, I feel like it's around $8,000 a month we pay on that one. But
Okay.
I don't have the exact, I thought it was broken down on here, but I apologize, it's not. So on there is just what our loans are currently sitting at. And again, those loans have different term dates, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Amortization
Yeah.
dates.
So yeah, because I know, I think one of them will be complete next year. And then the others are following over the next few years.
Okay, I remember my question. Are there any repercussions with municipal affairs, with the municipality being over our debt limit without requesting authorization from them? I mean, because this is an oops that could get the municipality, and I would assume we went against the MGA, so do we know? Are we in trouble?
As far as I know, in speaking with them, we're in trouble as you guys went over your debt limit. We understand why you guys went over your debt limit, but any repercussions, not that I am currently aware of.
So just to clarify, the reason why we're over our debt limit is because somebody from administration made recommendations which council approved for borrowing money that we were told we were within our window, right? And that was not the case. Am I correct?
I think, if I can use your statement as before, I think
Yeah.
we put the cart before the horse in some areas, and that put us in the financial position that we are currently in. We're definitely working on it, going forward at this point. Again, I think the positive to see out of this is that, yes, we're over our debt limit. Municipal Affairs is well aware of it, and we are working with them, and they haven't come in here and slapped us, kind of thing. But we're still within our debt servicing limit, which I think is a good thing to note, because we're able to make our monthly payments still, right? We have not come across yet where we have not been able to make.
Right.
And we're still within a good threshold in that debt servicing. So,
Okay.
so yes, the repercussions, as far as I know right now, it's gonna be in the compliance letter that, yes, you guys went over your debt limit, but
Okay, and you know what, if there are individuals that are gone that are responsible for doing it, I mean, or if there are individuals that are still here, do we not have, a liability of some sort in the event? I mean, I know that counselors can be held personally liable for making decisions that put the municipality in, peril. I mean, is from what I understand, we have insurance to cover mismanagement as well. Am I not mistaken? Or am I mistaken?
Acting Mayor, Assistant Members of Council, Councilor Harris, I would have to look into the documentation on that to find out the correct answer, because I can't just see and tell you if it is or isn't. I'd go to the MGA and look at things like that too.
Okay. I believe that might be our lawyers that, like, it's blanket insurance for, or in Miss Jeffrey's case, because she's a consultant, that I would assume that she has director's insurance or director's liability insurance. So yeah, that is, because if we can go through different avenues to recoup some of the money that we're, pouring out each month because of these mistakes. I mean, they were mistakes. Whether or not they're current administration mistakes or previous administration mistakes, then, I'm just seems like a lot of money that we're paying out for deals that we don't know anything about. That's all. I'm done.
Okay, any other questions? All right, all in favor? All right, 10.1, potential dates for town hall meeting.
Acting Mayor, Assistant Members of Council, the purpose of this report is to provide council with potential dates for a town hall meeting. At the regular meeting of council on June 23rd, 2025, council made the following motion. Councilor Harris moved the council direct administration to set a time and date of a town hall meeting and provide options for council at the next regular council meeting. Council Harris, well, the votes are there. To ensure an opportunity to attend is provided as many members of the public as possible, and considering staff availability, administration is proposing one of the following dates for an evening meeting to be held at the Gibbons Cultural Center. August 13, 14, 19, or 21. Once a date has been selected, administration will need to advertise the town hall meeting as per our public notification bylaw and request that questions from the public be submitted in writing either by email or dropped off in person prior to the meeting by the Thursday prior to the meeting date by the end of the business day. Options available. The option for consideration by council include the following. Council set a town hall meeting to be held at the Gibbons Cultural Center on August 2025, whatever date. The council will direct administration to advertise the town hall meeting as per the public notification bylaw, with questions from the public to be submitted by 4:30 p.m. on the Thursday prior to the meeting. Recommendation for action. Administration would like to respectfully request the council consider the following recommendation. The council set a town hall meeting to be held at the date, one of those 4 dates, and the council will direct administration to advertise the town hall as per the public notification bylaw, with questions to be submitted by 4:30 p.m. on the Thursday prior to the meeting.
All right, thank you. So we need 2 separate motions, so let's deal with the first one. Does somebody want to make a motion and choose a date? Councilor Harris?
If I could just note, perhaps doing the meeting on a Wednesday is not a great idea. Well, maybe it is a great idea, but I'm just thinking of the farmers market that happen on the Wednesday. So we can either hope that all of the people from the farmers market go over to the cultural center on that date, or take into consideration that the people may be occupied because of the farmers market. So.
Well, we have 2 Thursday dates.
Yeah.
I know personally the 14th wouldn't work for me, and I've heard a couple others that the 14th was a problem, but I think from what I've heard, the 21st wouldn't be a problem.
Okay, well then how's this? I'll make a motion that council set a town hall meeting to be held at the Gibbons Cultural Center on August Do we have a time? Can we add a time on this as well?
Sure.
What are we gonna say? 7 o'clock?
7 o'clock.
Okay, on the 21st of August at the Gibbons Community, the Cultural Center, and on the 21st of August.
All right. Any questions? All right, all in favor? Okay, I think that was everybody. Can I get a motion for number 2? Councilor Berry?
I move that council direct administration to advertise the town hall meeting as per the public notification bylaw with questions from the public to be submitted by 4:30 PM on the Thursday prior to the meeting.
Just for clarification, then can you maybe amend that to include the date of August 14th, prior to August 14th?
So, prior to the meeting on August 21st.
That'll work. Any questions? Oh.
How are we going to sort of determine the outline or the procedures on how we're gonna conduct the meeting? Are we looking into other municipalities who have had sort of these types of things, or? do you know?
Personally, I've actually found a couple of videos that I'm gonna watch and
Yeah.
see if I can figure out how these might go.
Okay,
I'd have no problem providing
that'd be great.
you with the same link and or just what I found, and then we could discuss
Sure,
offline.
I think that's a good idea. I mean, we should have some sort of
Some guideline.
outline,
Okay,
you know?
Acting Mayor Sisson,
Yeah,
Sorry.
just a question. Are we looking into a third-party moderator to direct the meeting?
Acting Mayor Sisson, Councilor Berry, we found a moderator for the meeting.
Sorry, what was that, Mr. Lowe?
We found a moderator for the meeting.
And who will that be?
I know I have to look it on my phone now. because
Martin
of the name.
West.
Martin
Westra.
Westra.
Who?
Martin Westra.
Okay, Mark Lestra?
Martin,
Isn't he affiliated with the town?
he doesn't live in the town now.
But
Mayor,
he's
Assistant members
is,
of council, he has no affiliation with the town at all.
oh, okay.
He's the same individual that hosts the almost Christmas dinner for the seniors every year.
Oh, yeah, no, I know who he is, but, I mean, he's a well-known individual with the town, I just, right? Is he not? Is he not involved with the Alliance Church, or am I mistaken on the individual?
He is, but
Well, no, I'm just asking, yes, it is relevant, because he is involved with the town in some way, and it's an individual that many of the individuals from this council are familiar with, so
I think many people in the town are familiar with him.
well, yes, because of the affiliation with the, I mean, that, you know, who chose him? I'm just,
No idea.
anybody? I'm not adverse to it, I don't know how,
If I may speak, so I believe a few names were put out there and individuals were asked. Lots said no, lots said they didn't want. I guess another option for council would to direct administration, and if we can't find someone who's willing to volunteer, then there may be a cost associated with it if we want to go outside of someone being able to volunteer for this open.
well, I'm just not, like, why isn't the acting mayor just not being the spokesperson to council? We're the ones who are answering the questions on behalf of the residents, we're the ones who want, people want to talk to, so
So
why aren't you?
you'd prefer I be the moderator?
Well, it's not even a moderator, I mean, we have questions, and, I mean, what,
Us on council will answer them for sure.
well, sure, but you're the spokesperson, so,
Okay?
I don't necessarily understand why we need a moderator.
That was recommended at a previous council meeting.
Yeah, I just don't know why, I don't understand it.
Councilor Berry?
Just a question. You have spoken to him already?
Councilor Berry, I have not spoken to him, Chris found him, Chris Pinot.
Okay,
And just before she went away, she sent me the email with the name. So,
Okay.
Yeah,
so has he agreed that is he open to it?
he is agreed to and open to coming here and moderating the,
And at no cost?
Yep, she never mentioned the cost, so I will say there's no cost.
Okay. I like the idea. I think questions at an open meeting could be directed to our interim CAO, to our mayor, to our council members, to any one of us. And having a third-party person who has no skin in the game, if you will, be the moderator, I think is a good idea.
Why are people worried about talking to our residents? That's what I don't understand.
We're not.
Okay. Well, obviously we are if we feel that we need an intermediary.
Councillor Sandal?
I'm not sure that I really understand, because the motion that was made stated that all questions must be submitted in writing. And now you're proposing that that's an open session, and I'm not sure that that is exactly what the thing said.
No,
So if you
we
want to have
actually
an open meeting, would you wait until I'm finished, please, madam? I was just asking.
So it wasn't required that questions were submitted ahead of time. It was just going to be a suggestion, if they would. And then there would still be an open mic potential.
Just to clarify, I wasn't suggesting that it's an open session. I do agree that if people have questions, that they should submit them so that everybody is prepared to be able to answer them. Should research be required prior to the meeting? And you know, I'm just simply inquiring about the need for a moderator, as opposed to just the mayor and council sitting up there and going through the questions, but, okay.
Okay. Motion's been made, so any other questions? All in favor? Okay. 10.2, we're moving to 11.5. All right, so before we go to 10.3, I need to vacate the chair and give that to acting Deputy Mayor, Councillor Berry.
You want me to switch chairs with you?
You don't need to switch chairs. And the reason I need to do that is because for this discussion, I actually need to recuse myself.
Okay, is there somebody from administration that would like to present this?
Yeah, Acting Mayor Yushchishin and members of council. First off, there is also a clerical error in my report. So if you would look at the recommended cost for the Gibbons Seniors Twilight Club, that was supposed to be $350. If you total it without that change, it does not come out to $2,500. So if you guys could make that fix in your package, as well on the second page, unfortunately, sorry, we missed this, on the recommendation for action, the total is $2,500, and again, with the fix to the Gibbons Seniors Twilight Club's recommended total being $350. So with that being said, the purpose of this report is to respectfully request that council review the second round of the community service grant applications. Submissions were made through the program, and there's an annual budget allocated for initiatives proposed for not-for-profit groups in Gibbons. I'm not going to read out each one unless you guys would like me to. And we request that you consider those following recommendations and tell me how you'd like to proceed.
Could we have a motion to accept the recommended amounts being awarded to our community service groups?
I'll make that motion to accept the amounts as presented.
Thank you, Councillor Sandal. Any questions?
I would like to know why religious institutions are continuing to put in for grants, as well as kids sport in Fort Saskatchewan.
Acting Mayor Yushishia, members of council. So through the policy, as long as the program or initiative is open to everyone in the community and it's non-denominational, they qualify for the grant as well. So if it goes towards that program, they are welcome to apply for that grant and they fit all the criteria that way. Kids Sport Fort Saskatchewan, we are under their umbrella for program registration. So last year they covered $9,000 of children's sport registration fees, and so they do qualify as they do cover our area for this registration.
Don't we have a benevolent fund to assist families through FCSS?
We do have a small fund for our recreation subsidy. It is significantly lower than what Kids Sport can provide. So they offer, I believe, now this is off the top of my head, up to $450 a kid. We can do like $200 a family under our budget.
So we have to give Kids Sport $750 to as part of our grant money for their golf tournament fundraiser. That doesn't seem. I mean,
I'm going to speak to you bluntly. I've been on the board prior to this. Years ago, I used to be on the Kids Sport board, so I have some familiarity with it. They are 100% fundraise bound, so that's the only way they get their money in to support the kids. If we were not to help them with some of their fundraising, they may drop some of the surrounding communities in their support. So I think that, but it's completely up to you if you guys want to.
but this I don't necessarily have an issue making a donation to their tournament fundraiser, but the $750 is coming out of grant money that could be allotted to other community groups. I mean, that's, do you know what I'm saying?
100%. So that's why we present the applications here. And if you guys decide that that's how you would like to take this back or change it up, we can do that. That's up to you guys.
I would reconsider the kids sport community grant, because like I said, that we can't draw that money from any other pot in the town revenue stream somewhere. We have to take it out of our grants.
We have a motion on the table. If Councillor Harris, I'm sorry. Norm?
Thank you. This is just a question that maybe I misunderstood. So we gave them, according to what you just said, we gave them $750, but they contribute $9,000 to the kids in this town, and I think that's a fair and pretty good investment.
I'm not disputing that. I'm saying that should the $750 donation come out of the grant funding as opposed to some other, avenue with town finances, why would this is a grant. So we make donations to all kinds of other societies. We've done it to the Jessica Martel Society, and they haven't come through in the form of a grant. Do you know what I mean? So that's I'm not saying don't donate it to it. I mean this is just grant money that.
Okay, we have a motion on the table. If Councillor Harris has another motion to make after we deal with this, then she is free to do that. So the motion is to approve the grant allocations that are listed here as presented. And are there any further questions before we call the vote?
Well, how can I make an alternative recommendation if we're going to approve it right now? It is discussion.
I believe that we have to deal with the current motion first. If there is another motion to be made following that, that is totally possible. Unless somebody can educate
The only
me.
other option would be is if Councillor Harris asks for an amendment to Norm's motion.
Okay. Do we have a friendly amendment?
I would like to ask for an amendment that perhaps we do not approve the request for the $750 for the kids' sport golf tournament, and perhaps explore other avenues for funding for that particular one, thus freeing up $750 for local community groups under the grant program.
Does the mover accept the amendment?
No.
Okay, so we will call the question. All in favor?
Vote, please.
I get to vote too, I think. All opposed? Okay, motion passed. So we still have the main motion that was in regard to the amendment. So I believe that was in regard to the amendment. So the main motion still stands. Am I not right? No? Okay, we leave it at that. And I will relinquish the chair to Honorable Acting Mayor Dale Yushishin.
Okay, thank you. All right, so that puts us at 10.4 Heartland Station pedestrian access.
Acting Mayor, Assistant Members of the Council, the purpose of this report is to respectfully request Council give consideration to modifying the pedestrian access route to Heartland Station. Background, previous administration during the construction of Heartland Station and the pedestrian access route consulted with the resident adjacent to the access route and assured the resident that trees would be planted along the edge of the resident's fence. Recently, administration and Acting Mayor Yushishin had a meeting with the resident and provided two options. Option one, golden willows are deciduous trees that are quick growing and can be planted in the ditch without any further preparation work other than digging and planting the trees. Total cost, $4,550, exclusive of GST. Given that the operating budget for 2025 is tight, council would need to decide which program of service the funds would need to come from for this option. Option two, coniferous trees can be planted but requires a lot more preparation. It would require relocating the culvert, filling the ditch, compacting it, stabilizing the road. It would be a prudent note that this is the preferred option of the resident. Total cost, $15,640, exclusive of GST. Given the operating budget of 2025 is tight, council would need to decide which program or service the funds would need to come from for this option. Administration would also like to give council a third option. Council can also choose to defer the project and direct administration to include this project in the 2026 operating budget. Options available. The option for council, consideration by council include the following. Council proceed with option one and identify which program or service the funds are to be taken from. Council proceed with option two, identify from which program the service and funds are to be taken from. Three, council proceed with option three and direct administration to include the project in 2026 operating budget. And four, the council advise administration how it would like to proceed. Administration would like to respectfully request the council give consideration to the following recommendation. The council advise administration how it would like to proceed.
Okay, thank you. Can I get a motion? Councillor Barry?
I'd like to move that we go with option number one, but to have it implemented as part of the budget for 2026.
Okay. Any questions? Councillor Harris?
At the beginning of the meeting, and perhaps this information can be passed on to the recording secretary to be added into the, as a late addition to the agenda. But I provided a letter that was sent out and signed by Mayor Deck in 2023. And it clearly outlined what the town was and developer were prepared to offer these individuals, these poor residents who have been dealing with this for a number of years now. So I'd just like to draw the attention of Mr. Lowe to the highlighted, did you got it?
No, I didn't get one.
Oh, sorry,
Supposed to share it with you.
yeah. So, I mean, in this, all of council knew about it, and frankly, the cost at this point in time is negligible.
Any other questions or comments? Councillor Hare, or Sandal?
The thing is that I'm, not to criticize, but she combined two of the options, 1 and 3. So option 3 is to include the project in the 2026 operating budget. And number 1 is we have to identify which program or service we're going to take the funds from. So I'm not sure how I would be able to vote on the outcome of this, but thank you.
Just to clarify, my motion would be option number 1 without the condition of identifying which services would be eliminated, because I am suggesting that option 1 be implemented in the 2026 budget, and that at that time, it's a new budget. We are not identifying which program or services would be eliminated.
Any other questions? Councillor Malonte?
Just in light of our budget for this year, and I kind of want to default to the next council, honestly, because this is funds that we haven't been aware of until obviously coming up. I would just like to stick with option 3 altogether, where that council proceed with option 3 and direct administration to include this project in the 2026 operating budget for further review. I'm hoping that could be a friendly amendment, because I don't think it's fair that this council, with an election coming up, should be making that determination right away.
Councillor Kozak?
Okay, this has all been stated from a letter from Dan. This should be done this year. We should look at where we're at with our surplus, or where we can fit this into the budget.
Correct me if I'm not wrong, but did we not budget for like a $300,000 surplus for the year?
Yeah, you are correct. But bringing the vac truck forward to you, council, in September, that will be bringing it down. It won't deplete that $300,000+ surplus, but it's going to affect it.
Councillor Harris?
Considering, I'll just note the date again on this letter that was provided to these residents was December 1st, 2023. We're now in 2025, just in case somebody needed a reminder. And these individual residents have gone through now almost 2 years of ridiculousness and back and forth. And I mean, I would like to know, I'm with you. I think whatever is in this letter is what we adhere to, and we'll find out, like, whatever it costs, it costs. I mean, nobody flinches that we spend $12,000 a month on a vac truck or a gazillion dollars on a fiber optics line, but we're balking at $15,000 for proper trees for these people. My fear is that if this was what was committed to them, and we're almost 2 years now down the road, fulfilling that commitment, what's the legal ramifications? I mean, these folks are going to turn around and sue the town for not fulfilling their obligation. So, frankly, whatever's in this letter should be what is done, including the steak dinner.
Councillor Sandal?
After reading the letter and everything like that, I can understand that and getting information, from council. Now, we never decided on a cost figure, so I would suggest that we go with the lower cost one in order to fulfill everything, and yet not spend the extra, I think like almost $11,000 for trees, because we can do it, I believe was cost there was $4,500. I'd like to go with that option.
Did you read this letter that Mayor Deck signed that I provided to you?
Yeah, and I'm saying is go ahead with the trees. It's just that the option was provided on the thing there that said that golden willows would be an option that we could use.
But if you note in the letter, number 3 that is highlighted, it indicates the selection and installation of trees, shrubs that are of the coniferous style, tree type, and other species types with height, etc., will be determined by Denise Chartrand, who is an employee of the town, in consultation with Cheyenne Tree Farms to ensure that what is selected will grow as quick as possible and survive there. So, and then number 4, pardon me, it says installation of an evergreen tree wall along the east side of the property will be planted below the Tim Hortons slope and south slope from the emergency access road to the highway as close as we can in accordance to the recommended instructions. So this clearly indicates that they are not to be willows. I mean, leaves fall off willows in the wintertime, and then you have a bunch of toothpicks. So that does not, that's not conducive to privacy or sound barrier or anything to that effect. So if these folks were promised coniferous trees, then I think that we should be, at the very least, do what we're going to say. Do what we said we're going to do, as per Mayor Deck's signature.
Councillor Sandal?
The only question I have is that Mayor Deck signed this, as the best of my knowledge, not on behalf of council, but it appears to be on his own signature. So,
We all got the email, actually, Mayor, or Councillor Sandal.
so my mistake, but he's no longer here, so I don't know.
Okay, Councillor Malante.
I heard everything and I agree with the points that are valid. My thing is, we have a motion on the floor, we either defeat it, put a new motion up, go from there. I think
Or-
really good discussion.
Or we can ask Councillor Berry, based on what she's heard, is she willing to amend her?
Yep, that's a good point.
At this point, I would like to amend my motion, and the motion is option number 1, in 2025, given that this has gone on forever and ever, and choosing the less expensive option, I think, bodes well considering the financial situation we are in. Having it done in 2025 makes sense because this has dragged on. So I'll leave it at that. So my motion, option number 1, the cost to come out of our surplus, and again, because it's a smaller amount, I don't have an issue with it coming out of the surplus, and it to be done in 2025.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Harris?
Again, I will ask Acting Mayor Yuchichin and Acting CAO Lowe, have we considered any legal ramifications by not fulfilling what had been committed to these residents?
I can say it's definitely gone through my mind, yes.
Okay. I think that everybody should keep that in mind when they're voting.
Okay,
Can I ask that this is a recorded vote, please?
okay. Any other questions? Councillor Sandal?
Yeah, could I have the recording secretary read off the motion so that I can get a good grasp of what exactly we're voting for?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but the motion was amended to just simply be option number 1. Is that not correct?
If I can just add,
Oh, with the
that in
funds
the
to come.
2025 budget, in not taking anything away, but from the
Pulling it from
surplus.
surplus, correct,
Option 1 to be out of the surplus in the 2025 operating budget.
correct. All right, any other questions? All right, all in favor? Opposed? All right, it's defeated. Councillor Harris?
I'd like to make a motion that council direct administration to refer back to the letter that was drafted by Mayor Deck provided to the residents on December 1st, 2023. And we fulfill all of the obligations that are noted within that document.
For simplicity, can we just say option number 2, because I believe that does it?
I'm reluctant, as long as it fulfills all of the obligations in this letter.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay, sorry, just reading their options. Are you, I don't want to tell you how to do the motion per se. but-
Why can't we just scrap, like, not use motion 1, 2, or 3, and just have them refer back to the letter, and I mean, I can read
Which
them.
we absolutely could.
Right?
We absolutely could. I thought for simplicity, option number 2 covered that. The only question I would have is, option number 2 specifically states from which program or service the funds will come from. Are we going to choose that, or are we gonna say from surplus again, or?
You know what, I don't know where we have money and where we don't. We have $1 million line of credit that is free and clear right now, so we can draw off of that, I assume, if necessary, or,
Yeah.
you know, I'm
Okay. Councillor
saying.
Sandal?
The only question I have is that if I'm gonna vote in favor of this, I'd certainly like to know the amount they're gonna spend up front, because according to the list that's on the letter you gave us and the amount that's stated here on the agenda, I think the cost is gonna be significantly more than the 15,000 that's been indicated there.
Perhaps Mr. Lowe can comment on, you know, in your expertise, what are your thoughts about how much this will cost? As this is as the
Acting
information.
Mayor Yushis, members of council, Councillor Harris, Curtis has met with the contractor on site, and he is the one who got all the quotes for this and gave them to me, so I will let him explain all the quotes and what they entailed.
Good evening, Acting Mayor Eustishian, members of council. So kind of on the cost breakdown, what I kind of have in front of me right away here. So the cost is for filling in the ditch, moving the culvert, providing the adequate drainage for the excavation towards the east side of the ditch. That cost to fill in everything, mobilize crews, have the proper equipment there, packing, grass, everything on that aspect. It's a 2-day job. We're looking at approximately $10,300 plus GST. The cost of the trees, I don't have that quote in front of me, but for the evergreen trees, that one was approximately $6,000, give or take, for the balance of that portion, and those trees were to be planted by Cheyenne Farms as well after this ditch work was done.
And the trees were, if I'm not mistaken, 10 to 12 feet, the biggest ones we could get, I think.
Yes,
They were
approximately 10 to
biggest
12
ones they
feet
could
for the
find.
trees. The biggest ones they have, they come in, I believe they were in a wire cage on those ones. You know, give or take, for simplicity, call it be over 8 feet.
So is that, my rough math, $20,000 to $25,000 would be kind of a very liberal estimate, I assume?
This would be on option 2, it'd be approximately that $16,000 there. roughly.
Okay, let's just maybe bump that up a little bit,
Yeah.
considering how life goes. So 20 grand would be fair, I would say, right?
For budgetary, let's call it 25, just
Okay.
to be safe.
Cool.
Councillor Barry?
My concern is as well that to fulfill all of these 5 items, the cost is going to be considerably higher, because it talks about, well, number 5, installation of trees adjacent to Heartland Station site to provide further noise protection from highway in 2024. So the way I read this, these are not the trees that are along his property line. These are in addition. The other thing is number 1, the relocation of the drainage ditch from the west side to the east side of the emergency access lane. And the existing culvert located in front of your home will be extended to ensure the proper drainage of the adjacent lane. It just sounds to me like if these items were fulfilled, that it would be considerably more than our option number 2. So have you looked at these?
Acting Mayor Station, members of council, Councilor Barry, I don't have that letter in front of me, unfortunately.
Okay.
It was just provided to you guys, I believe, at the start of this meeting, just to
Yeah.
council, so I don't have all the
You
information.
don't know
there.
how much all of this would cost?
We just have what was requested at the prior meeting, so we could do a notice of motion potentially after to request to review the letter and bring forward new information at the next council meeting as well as another
Right.
option, just as a recommendation.
Right, I would prefer that to passing a motion to fulfill all of these obligations without knowing what the cost would be.
Acting Mayor, Assistant Members of Council, if we want to proceed with this, we can't wait another month or so. We're going to have to get it on the go, because if we wait, the longer we wait, it's not going to get done. So if we want to get the trees planted and the ditch changed, we should either go for it or not go for it.
Councilor Galante?
Just, like, my thing is, if option 2 is the viable because of the timelines, and then look at the other positions of the other pieces here from 1 to 5, excluding the one that we're looking at, we can redirect administration to work on that other stuff too. So,
Councilor Harris?
I'll just note again that the date of this letter that all of council were aware of, that Mayor Deck signed on our behalf, is dated December 1st, 2023. These 5 items that are highlighted in this letter were all promised and to these residents. And council, Mayor Deck was the spokesperson of council. He signed his name on behalf of council, and suggesting that almost 2 years after this letter was penned, now we're going to worry about how much money it's going to cost. It's negligible. Again, all of these 5 items that are highlighted within this letter should be fulfilled for these residents as it was promised to them almost 2 years ago.
All right, any other questions?
Recorded vote, please. So my motion is just as per the letter.
No, I think, well, option 2 pretty much covers all this, but just to be on the safe side, do option 2 with the cost not to exceed 25,000 without council's approval.
I accept that as a friendly amendment.
All right. Any other questions?
Recorded vote, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right, all in favor? Opposed? Okay, that one passes.
Thank you.
All right, 11.1, MOG 1-25, public hearings by electronic means.
Acting Mayor, Assistant Members of Council, the purpose of this report is to respectfully request that council give consideration to bylaw MOG 1-25, public hearing by electronic means. Background, with recent changes to the Municipal Government Act, municipalities are mandated to have a bylaw that provides a way for the public to be able to attend public hearings electronically under section 119 brackets 2.1. At the June 25th, 2025 regular meeting of council, council gave first, second reading to this bylaw. Options available. The options for consideration by council include the following. Council give third reading to bylaw MOG 1-25, public hearings by electronic means. Option 2, the council advise administration how it would like to proceed. Recommended for action, the council give third reading to bylaw MOG 1-25, public hearing by electronic means.
Thank you. Can I get a motion?
Yeah, I'll move that we give third reading to bylaw MOG 1-25.
Thank you. Questions? Councilor Harris?
Just, once again, this is only indicating that people can access the public hearings via an electronic, whether or not it be phone in or video conference, in addition to attending personally, correct? This is not removing the need for, or the requirement or the ability for people to attend in person? Just simply, okay, thank you.
Any other questions? All right, all in favor? Okay. 11.2, MOG 2-25, Chief Administrative Officer Bylaw.
Acting Mayor Sister, members of council, the purpose of this report is to respectfully request council give consideration to bylaw MOG 2-25, Chief Administrative Officer Bylaw. At a preliminary review of the municipal affairs for the legislative compliance check, indicated that council is to designate the banking institutions or tuitions that the town uses under section 270 brackets 2. A municipality must ensure that all money belonging to or held by the municipality is deposited in a bank, credit union, loan corporation, treasury branch, or trust corporation designated by council. However, bylaw MOG 3-23, the current Chief Administrative Officer bylaw, gives the power to the CAO and is therefore a contradiction of the MGA. Administrative is therefore bringing this bylaw forward, removing the clause, as well as removing the reference to FOIP and replacing it with the new Access to Information Act and Protection of Privacy Act. At the June 25th, 25 regular meeting of council, gave first and second reading to this bylaw. Options available. The council, a third reading to the bylaw MOG 2-25, Chief Administrative Officer bylaw. The council advised administration how it would like to proceed.
Thank you. Can I get a motion?
I'll make the motion for third reading for bylaw MOG 2-25.
Thank you. Questions? Councilor Harris?
The second page of this, the request for decision, the recommendation for action, is this a typo that just says that council give first, second, and third reading to the bylaw 2-25?
That's correct.
Looks like it.
Yeah. And my other question is that I think that there are some other things that should be changed in the CAO bylaw as well, but there had been discussion about holding off on any of additional changes until the governance or compliance review. So I'm okay with going forward with this currently, as long as we are able to make changes and additions at that time as well. Okay, thank you.
You can bring those as a notice of motion pretty much anytime.
Well, I'm just saying, we were told not to go through it, you know, when Councillor Barry originally brought it up and made the.
That was actually for the procedural bylaw, but the same idea counts.
Who brought it up? I can't remember.
Councilor Barry for the
Right.
procedural bylaw. Yep.
But what I'm saying is that the reason, like, at the time, I had inquired whether or not we were gonna go and make, you know, some further changes. And it was requested that we put that on hold until the compliance review was done. And as long as that be the case, then there should be no notice of motion needed, because it should come up in discussion anyway. So as long as that be the case, then,
Okay.
right? I mean, if we're told to not make changes now because we're gonna be discussing it further after the legislative compliance review, then, I mean, that's what we were told. So there should be no need for a notice of motion is my point.
Okay. All right, any other questions? All in favor? 11.3, bylaw ALT 7-25, residential and non-residential assessment subclasses.
Hold on, sorry to interrupt, Acting Mayor. With the, just going back to this bylaw, the changes indicate that council is who directs where, so are we going to revisit that at some
That
point?
was the move from 10.2 to 11.3.
Okay, got it, thank you.
And that's
Good,
why they moved it, was so that
Yep.
we'd have this first.
Good, excellent, thanks.
Sorry, 11.3, bylaw ALT 7-25, residential and non-residential assessment subclasses.
Good evening, Acting Mayor Decision, Member of Council. The purpose of this report is to request that council give consideration to bylaw ALT 7-25 residential and non-residential assessment subclasses. As part of the preliminary legislative compliance check by Municipal Affairs, it was identified that we require a subclass bylaw for properties that are assessed as vacant residential and vacant non-residential for property taxes. According to section 297 subclass 2 and 2.1 of the Municipal Government Act, a council may by bylaw divide class 1 into subclasses on any basis it considers appropriate, and if the council does so, the assessor may assign one or more subclasses to property in class 1. 2.1, a council may by bylaw divide class 2 into subclasses prescribed by subsection 3.1, and if the council does so, the assessor must assign one or more of the prescribed subclasses to a property in class 2. 3.1, for the purpose of subsection 2.1, the following subclasses are prescribed for the property in class 2. A vacant non-residential property. B, small business properties. C, other non-residential property. Administration is proposing that council adopt the residential and non-residential assessment subclasses by law ALT 7-25 in order to comply with the Municipal Government Act. Included in this bylaw under definitions section 2.10 and 2.11. The bylaw also gives the ability for the town to implement a supplementary assessment rule and to prepare a supplementary tax rule. As per the information for Municipal Affairs, a supplementary property tax is defined as follows. A municipality may pass a bylaw that allows it to assess newly constructed improvements that have been added to land after December 31st condition date and collect property taxes on a prorated basis for the remainder of the tax year. This approach provides fairness among property owners because, as the new buildings are completed and occupied, the property owner receives municipal services. So the supplementary tax contributes towards the cost of providing these services. Supplementary taxes can only be collected on the value of new improvements that are completed in a current year. An example would be a homeowner that constructs a house on a vacant land and completes it in August. The municipality may levy a supplementary tax on the new value of the property for the remaining 5 months in the tax year. Each year thereafter that council wishes a bylaw imposing a supplementary tax, it must be adopted along with the yearly tax rate bylaw. Administration is requesting that council consider giving all three readings to bylaw ALT 7-25, the residential and non-residential assessment subclasses bylaw ALT 7-25. Administration would like to respectfully request that council consider the following recommendations. That council proceeds with first reading of the residential and non-residential assessment subclasses bylaw ALT 725. That council proceeds with second reading of residential and non-residential assessment subclasses bylaw ALT 7-25. Number 3, that residential and non-residential assessment subclasses bylaw ALT 7-25 be presented for third reading. And 4, that council proceeds with third reading and final adoption of the residential and non-residential assessment subclasses bylaw ALT 7-25. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I get a motion for first reading?
I'll move first meeting of the bylaw ALT 7-25.
Thank you. Questions? Councilor Harris.
In the request for decision document under background, it indicates that as part of the legislative compliance check that is currently being conducted by Municipal Affairs, identified that this section or this portion should be in addition to. What did they find that brought this to their attention or raised red flags to begin with?
That we do collect property taxes on vacant residential and non-residential lands. We just don't have it subclassed. So we have been doing it. I looked it up today to see when it came into effect. It came into effect in 2018. So it should have been adopted back then, a bylaw for those subclasses. When Municipal Affairs was here, because of course they asked for a bunch of our bylaws to review before coming, and this is one of them that they had found. And they did make us aware that lots of municipalities have missed this. So we aren't the only one. There's quite a few, and it mostly comes up when they do compliance checks. So we're just making sure now that we're in standards and bringing as much forward when we find out from Municipal Affairs, so we meet those requirements.
can you in layman's terms explain the need for this? Because I mean, it's very,
So.
yeah.
So we already tax, of course, properties that are vacant, that don't have home say on them. So with a subclass and what we do already, you're allowed to do a 5-to-1 ratio. So that means we're able to times up to a maximum of 5% more on a vacant piece of land. So this category just breaks that out from everything being lumped into one, into like the subclasses. I don't know if that's layman enough. Ratio between non-residential and residential tax rate. This means that the tax rates for non-residential properties cannot exceed 5 times that of a residential property. So you're allowed to tax, really, a vacant piece of land, more taxes.
Right.
Because, and I think the
Yeah, to
reason
speed up
behind- right?
put a fire
'Cause
under
you
the-
want someone to have a house
Yeah.
or a building on that property, so.
So, if it's been a sort of a requirement that we've missed, can we go back in time and
Because we're already taxing these vacant properties, and we are at, what I pulled one up today, like 4 I forget something. So we are in the ratio that we're allowed to be in. It's just that we'd never had a subclass, because it was, what I could find, it came into effect January 1st of 2018, that these subclasses are now part of the MGA Act. So we're just making sure we're in compliance with.
Oh, I'm not disputing that. I'm thinking about if we have vacant lots that have been sitting there and that we should have collected X more dollars of taxes on
I
vacant
think
lots.
that's what she said, is we already are.
We already are.
We just haven't actually got the bylaw specifically stating that we can.
Are we sure that we are to it's the maximum
Yeah.
ability?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Other questions? All right. All in favor? Opposed? Okay.
I'd like a recorded, sorry, I made that a little bit slow. A little bit. I did vote against it, though.
Yep. All right. Anybody interested in having a second reading? Motion? Councillor Berry?
I move that council proceeds with second reading of the residential and non-residential assessment subclasses bylaw AL 7-25.
Thank you. Further questions?
Recorded, please.
All in favor? Opposed? Okay. Anybody interested in requesting a third vote or a third reading? Councillor Malante?
I'll put forward that the residential and non-residential assessment subclasses, bylaw ALT.
No, you have to request the third reading first.
Requesting for the third reading. To be requesting for the third reading, so.
Okay. All right.
Recorded, please.
All in favor? Opposed? All right, that one's defeated. So I think now we're at 11.5, which was 10.2, which is designation of municipal banking institutions.
Aren't we doing 11?
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed one. 11.4, PLU 2-25, and amendment to land use bylaw PLU 808-06.
Good evening, Acting Mayor Eustachian and members of council. The purpose of this report is to respectfully request that council give consideration to bylaw PLU 2-25 and amendment to land use bylaw PLU 8-06. Administration is seeking an amendment to Schedule A, Land Use District Map to redistrict lots 10 and 11, Block 4, Plan 1130HW from primary commercial C1 district to high-density residential R4 district to facilitate a development permit application for a multifamily residential project. A public hearing was held prior to will be required for this bylaw prior to second reading. The 2 lots were previously single-family dwellings which were demolished in 2024, with the vacant properties then being listed for sale. There is currently an offer on the properties pending the rezoning and development permit approval. Administration would like to respectfully request that council consider the following recommendation: that council give second and third reading of bylaw PLU 2-25, an amendment to bylaw PLU 8-06 land use bylaw. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I get a motion? Councilor Malonte.
For the motion that council gives second reading of bylaw PLU 2-25, an amendment to bylaw PLU 8-06 land use bylaw.
Thank you. Questions? All right.
Yeah, was this, request put in, done by the town, or was it by the purchaser of the land or a developer?
So actually, to make an amendment, there is a fee. So they made that fee, and that amendment then can come forward for that. So
So the initial development permit was stated one thing, they requested an amendment
yeah, so
to the zoning?
the amendment had to be done in order for them to
Like to finalize the purchase?
to purchase the property and what they would want to do. They want to do the multifamily, and it's listed as commercial, right? So our land use didn't allow for what they wanted to do, so the amendment had to come forward for first reading, the public hearing, which was held last week, and then.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Councilor Berry.
Do we know, I know multifamily dwellings can be 2 floors?
So this one is on the preliminary drawings that we've seen. It's on each lot will be a building with 3 in it. So and then with that we'll have basement. So it will be basement, main floor, top floor. So the one occupancy would be the main floor and the top floor. The second would be the basement.
Okay, understood.
So in total, then, if we look at it that way, each unit would have 6 dwellings, so for a total of 12 dwellings would be on those 2 lots.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? All right, all in favor? Okay. Anybody interested in having third reading?
I'll make a motion for third reading.
Thank you. Any questions? All in favor? All right. Now we're at 11.5, which was 10.2, designation of municipal banking institutions.
Acting Mayor, Assistant Members of the Council, the purpose of this report is to respectfully request that Council give consideration to setting the municipal banking institutions. The preliminary information gathering meeting held with Municipal Affairs indicated there were some motions of Council that could not be determined if they had never been done or had simply been missed previously. To ensure that the town is in compliance with legislative requirements, Council, by motion, needs to set the municipal banking institution as set out in the Municipal Government Act under Section 270(2). The municipality must ensure that all money belonging to or held by the municipality is deposited in a bank, credit union, loan corporation, treasury branch, or trust corporation designated by Council. Therefore, a motion of Council is required to set the municipal banking institution as Service Credit Union, and for the sole purpose of RRSP contributions to Royal Bank. Going forward, this item will be on the organizational meeting agenda yearly to ensure information is always forefront and current. Options available for consideration by Council include the following. Council set the municipal financial institutions as Service Credit Union at 4616 50th Ave, and the Royal Bank for RRSPs. I don't know the address, for the sole purpose of RRSP contributions. Or Council advise administration how it would like to proceed.
All right, can I get a motion?
I'll make the motion that the council set the municipal financial institution as Service Credit Union and the Royal Bank for the sole purposes of RRSP contributions.
Thank you. Any questions? Councilor Sandal?
I really have a somewhat of a concern about the Royal Bank, given their customer service in town has been not very good, but I guess we'll stay there.
Councilor Harris?
Actually, this is further to that. Why would we not invest within Alberta credit union or treasury branch type of?
Members of Council, Councilor Harris, we don't do RSPs anymore. We're LAPP, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
So this
Why
is,
would-
so this is prior, so employees have the option to stay with that. So, what's happening here is that employee wishes to continue their RRSP contributions. We take it off their check, we give it to the Royal Bank. So the town is not contributing at all, we're just taking off the employee's check and
Since when does an employee get to opt in or out of LAPP?
oh, no,
that
they're
was
still
before you had
in,
LAPP.
they're still paying LAPP
Yeah.
as well as doing this RRSP contribution, which I believe, as all staff members, we have that option to still contribute to an RRSP plan if we wish. This person has chosen to do so. They've been doing it, I think, for a number of years. So, we just take it off their check and it goes to the,
All that would be a direct deposit for their RSP, their RSP contributions to the Royal Bank.
It's
So
not
they
a
want
case
to
where
put
the
it in
town is
front of the
matching
meter.
or anything, is it?
no, we are not, no.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions?
My other question is, why does administration, why is the recommendation Service Credit Union as opposed to any other choices?
Because that's where all our current bank accounts are held at, is with the Service Credit Union.
I gotta be a little honest, considering everything surrounding Mr. O'Malley, and Service Credit Union has been the go-to of choice with him in previous. Maybe we should change. I'm just, borrowing just so you know, if you borrow money from, a banking institution such as Service Credit Union, the credit union does not require, any proof of what the money is, that the money that was borrowed was actually spent on, what it was, requested for. And I believe that ATB is, more stringent on their, protocol. So I think we should go look elsewhere.
Acting Mayor Shishin, members of council, I guess my recommendation would be, just so we're in compliance, if you guys set the institution now, I know we are saying we are going to be bringing this forward at every organizational meeting to reset it, so again, you could bring it back that we motion to look into another banking institution, but if you designated it now, then we're in compliance with it.
Why do you say that? Why do you say, I mean, this is deciding, council's deciding. Why are you recommending that as opposed to moving it?
Oh, if you want to move that right now, but without any, I guess that's a big move right now, to move all of our accounts, and then we're still not, I guess sure, you can make that decision. I just think that that's going to take some time, and it would be maybe prevalent to designate it first and then do some research on that. But again, that's completely council's decision.
Well,
Councilor Sandal?
Yeah, I just want to remind you that if you move to ATB, it would not be here in Gibbons, it would be in Fort Saskatchewan, because the ATB here is actually only an agent.
it's a, yeah, like a satellite branch or something, right?
Well, that's actually an agent, so they
An
don't
agent,
really,
pardon me, yeah.
they aren't able to do any of most of the work that the town requires, so everything would move to Fort Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
And the cost of moving would be significant.
Why? I'm just curious, I don't know, what costs are you
Well, all your checks, all your books, everything that have to be rewritten.
Okay, well, again, I'm just suggesting ATB because the protocols are more stringent than the credit union, and we are in a heck of a lot of trouble financially, so.
Okay, any other questions?
Like a recorded vote on this, please.
All right, all in favor? Opposed? All right, for 11.5, because this was my notice of motion, I will have to relinquish the chair again to our deputy mayor, Councillor Barry.
Hold on, 11.6, right? Not 11.5.
Sorry, you're right, 11.6.
Just make sure that correction's there.
Which is the old 15-1. So basically, I'd like to make a motion that we direct administration to provide a letter of interest to the municipality of Cold Lake, I believe this is, yes, Cold Lake, in investigating a rural bus route going through some of the rural municipalities. So no, not looking for any commitments, any monies, anything along those lines, just simply showing that we are interested in investigating with them as to what this could look like.
So this is only a notice of motion at this time?
No, I made the notice of motion last meeting, so this would be a motion to direct administration. In this case, I'm asking administration to draft a letter on behalf of council to show that we are interested in further investigation with the town of Cold Lake. Any questions? Oh, sorry, that's your job.
Any further questions on this motion?
Nope, I need to stop that.
Okay, I have so you received a letter, a note, or,
Yeah, it's the letter that's in,
no, I saw that, but
Package.
nothing further, there's no, it's just an investigation?
Yeah,
They don't have
so-
any thoughts on the future, what it could look like or anything?
it says here, once we have gauged our region's interest in the matter and find a convenient time to convene, we'll offer a venue to meet and either do it personally or virtually.
Oh, okay, thanks.
Any other questions? Then we call the question. All in favor? No one opposed? Passed.
You need to give it back to me. Councillor Berry, you need to give it back to me.
I pass the chair back to Acting Mayor Dale Yushishin.
Thank you. All right, administration reports.
Acting Mayor Yushishin, members of council, Pioneer Days was successful and well attended. Thank you for everyone that helped out with that. Our summer programs are going very well and our field trips are running smoothly. We actually have sold out every single field trip spot for the whole season, which is wonderful. Our GFRC is once again supporting our Tools for Schools program, so registration is currently being accepted for that program through them. And some upcoming events include our townwide garage sale and our Meet the Community Night, which I believe almost all the tables are completely sold out as well for the upcoming that. Thank you.
In corporate services, we're working on tax enforcement, human resources, WCB audit and library audit, financial analysis, and still the municipal compliance.
Can I ask a question? What's WCB audit?
It's an audit on our WCB files.
Is it just that's par for the course? Or
Yep.
Is this coming from the legislative compliance review?
Nope, this is a WCB audit on its own.
Okay.
So, yep, she'll be in office next week.
Okay, good, thanks.
Good evening, Acting Mayor Sisson, members of council, public works. Water meter changes as appointments are made and as time permits. The street sweeping is ongoing as required. Branch and grass recycles continue to be open into October. Please note that we are looking to limit the hours down to 3:30 for the opening, just due to man hours and presence at the Public Works yard. That'll be effective, I believe, next Thursday for August 1st. Line painting is now complete throughout town. The manhole lining projects have now started. Dust control on the gravel roads is now complete. Hydrant repairs and flushing are ongoing. Mowing and grass maintenance is ongoing. Thank you.
In planning and development, 2025 year-to-date development permit totals, 29 residential for a value of $6,377,600, 2 commercial for a value of $3,700, 1 industrial for $12,000.
For the fire department, the numbers changed on this. The county calls are at 116 and town calls are at 109. Current membership is 19. We're recruiting and it closes tomorrow, Friday, and we have 15 applications. So we'll probably take 6 to 7. We won't take them all, so. And we're doing a little different now with recruitment. They're on probation for a year, and we don't send them on any courses for at least a year to make sure they fit in and we don't waste money sending them on courses. So. For me, appointments, A.B. Muniz, Summer Leaders Caucus, Alberta Industrial Heartland, meeting with residents, meeting with Landrix and Nest Homes, meeting with Travis Peter, CAO of Sturgeon County. And project updates, you want to do Memorial Park, Stephanie?
There's no update since the last meeting.
Heartland Station Pet Value is now hiring and it should be open soon. I was actually in there yesterday because we had an alarm call and nobody knew where. So we went in Pet Value and it's pretty well set up and they were training people. So I would say it's going to open pretty soon. There is interest in the land that the town has for sale, but when they come in and try to lowball us, it doesn't work. It's not even close. So.
Councilor Malonte?
So that question goes to our acting CAO. I'd like to find out when our bylaw CPO report comes in from Morinville. I haven't seen a report come in a little while. And I know there was a lot of reference from the RCMP report to go, hey, it's the peace officers looking into the, or working together with them in dealing with the motorbike situation. And then I just kind of want to know what's going on with the bylaw stuff.
Acting Mayor, Assistant Members of Council, Councilor Malonte, I actually got a hold of Will last week and he answered his phone while he was on holidays and I'm going to set up a meeting with him soon and that's exactly what I was talking to him about, coming in for an update.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. My questions are directed to community services. Number one, has a decision been made about the hockey locker room?
Acting Mayor Shishin, members of council, currently administration is working on a contract right now.
So a decision has been made?
Oh, essentially, yes.
Okay, I assume council will be notified of that fairly soon of what's happening?
Once the contract is signed, then we will inform council as who it was awarded to.
Okay. Is it an entity or a group other than the Broncos? Because if the one group is no longer here, is it just the contract for the Broncos team?
Acting Mayor Shishin's member of council, it's a contract, so I can't discuss this in an open.
No, I'm just asking who gets the room. I don't care about the contract.
It's not necessarily, everything is clear like
It's
that.
not decided until the contract's signed.
Yeah.
Okay. Would it be fair to say that one of the two groups that made presentations to the council over the last several meetings are going to be provided with this said contract?
Again, I cannot discuss a contract in an open.
No, I'm not
meeting.
discussing the contract.
It-
I want to know if
No
one of the
matter-
two entities
No
are getting
matter
it.
what, that would be part of the contract, so I cannot say that in a public meeting at this time until.
Well, not necessarily. People just want to know who gets room. And if the Spartans are no longer in existence and there's, the Broncos were the ones requesting it, I don't care the particulars of the contract.
What I can say is going forward, there's going to be some changes to exactly what that room is looking like and what this contract is going to be. So again, I can't say too much at this time.
Okay. I just find that a little bit interesting considering that council were the ones who actually had to vote on the construction of that room. And we had, an input and we had to vote on bringing the pioneers here to accommodate that room to begin with. Is there a reason why council is not party to this this decision making, or part of this decision making?
Acting Mayor Shishin, members of council, before when the pioneers were coming, that was in the middle of a budget year. There were substantial budget implications, and I believe that was why council was involved in those decisions.
No, we actually had to approve the pioneers coming here in the first place. We had Mr. DeBurle had made a presentation, so somewhere along the line, council was involved in the decision making, and then now we're not.
I was not a part of that, so I can't comment on that, sorry.
Okay.
Councilor Berry?
I'd like to thank you for your efforts at maintaining confidentiality regarding the
Yes, thank you.
people who are going to be part of that contract.
Much appreciated.
Thank you.
My second question for you is that for the Pioneers Days events, I don't know if you had feedback insofar as the lineups, the wait times at the after the parade at the museum grounds. I had several people contact me and just sort of express their opinion that it was lengthy, there was long, there was not enough. Did anybody bring that to your attention?
Acting Irish Association Members Council, we mostly received positive. There was a few people that you said lines were long, but again, with that, most people did understand that with it, everything being free at this event, that's quite typical. You get a large number of people, there's no cost.
So this wasn't an anomaly? It's usually like that? I'm just asking, like in years past?
Weather dependent, yeah, there's typically quite long lines. We have increased the budget over the years to try to add some extras in there so that reduces those lines. But as this event, especially when the weather is nice, we are bringing out more people than we can afford to, unless we started charging for pieces of it, then those lines
Okay,
are
so if
be a
anybody
little
has
longer.
any issues with it, they can just contact administration and bring it to their attention?
100%.
Not necessarily issues or suggestions or
No,
whatnot.
we're happy to always hear with feedback because we will try to, if there's certain things that they say, hey, we absolutely loved this, we love that feedback, because then we look at maybe having those items, or if we get a bunch of negative feedback about it.
Not necessarily negative, just
No.
just that there were comments made about the, but I mean, I know it was hot. Everybody-
100%, no, we're always happy to hear feedback,
Okay.
negative or positive.
Good, thank you.
Yep.
All right, can I get a motion? Councillor Barry?
I move that we accept administration's reports as information.
All right, all in favor? All right, committee reports, let's start with Councillor Sandal.
Okay, June 27th, I went to the Industrial Heartland meeting. June 11th, attended the Children's Bike Parade and decorating. July 12th, the Pioneer Days Parade, and July 17th, met with the Morinville Chamber of Commerce. Thank you.
Sorry, July 11th, the wastewater meeting, and July 12th was Pioneer Days.
I participated in the Pioneer Days events over the weekend.
Councillor Milante?
Okay, June 26, attended the Sturgeon River Watershed Alliance meeting. July 12, Pioneer Days as well for representation. And then July 15th, the Municipal Planning Commission.
On July the 2nd, I manned the library table at the farmer's market, gave away lots of books and talked to lots of people. On July the 12th, I attended the Pioneer Days breakfast and took part in the parade that followed. On July the 15th, I attended the special council meeting, and I believe that's it.
All right, on June 26th, I attended the AB Munis Municipal Leadership Conference. On June 27th, I attended the Transportation and Infrastructure meeting, trying to get the province to commit to when the speed limit from Heartland Station to 50th Avenue is going to get changed. Have not got word from them yet, but all I can say is that they've approved it. We just don't know when they're going to change the signs. And then I went from there to the Fort Saskatchewan Chamber of Commerce open house. June 30th, I attended a meeting at a residence house to discuss an agreement. And July 12th, attended the parade and the events at the museum for Pioneer Days. Before we get the motion, can I just remind everybody, with Ms. Pino being gone, we didn't get a reminder to send your attendance at things, so can we make sure we email those in, please? And can I get a motion to accept this information? Councilor Milante.
Put forward the motion to accept this information, and I think Kylie, you got my email, so we should be good.
Cool. For 14.1, correspondence from the RCMP, can I get a motion to accept this information?
I'll make the motion to accept this information.
Thank you. All in favor? All right.
Acting Mayor, just considering that the in-camera item was my,
Yep.
I'm going to, I'd like to make a motion to have that removed from the meeting. I can address that via email initially with council and
Beautiful.
administration. So I'm going to make a motion to amend the agenda and with the removing of the personnel item on for the in-camera session.
All right. All in favor? That means we're adjourned.
Done.